We have a very exciting fireside chat today with Movable Inc.'s very own VP of Financial Services, Jackie Mattia, and Managing Director for JP Morgan Chase, Mike McCormick. Mike brings over 25 years of financial services experience to share with you all what best-in-class marketing ops looks like. Please give a warm welcome to Jackie and Mike.
Mike, thanks so much for being here today. We've worked together for a few years, and I'm so excited for today's discussion. As I look around the room, know many of you in here, there's some of you who are focused on strategy, there's some who own ops, others who are more in the tech and data org, and I think that's something, no matter the function, we can all agree on, is that there's no real customer impact delivered without a really strong ops team and operating model, no matter how sleek your tech stack is, no matter how good your data or your AI is. And so that's why I've been so excited for today's discussion. You heard it a little bit before, but Mike, you've got 25 years of experience across what I consider some of the most operationally sophisticated organizations in the world. You're at Chase now, you were at Amex for decades, PayPal, USAA, you name it. So just really excited to draw on Mike's getting bashful.
It's so weird to hear people talk about you.
It's very impressive, though. So I'll kick us off. Really what I'd love to start us off with is just hearing some of your thoughts on the keynote that you heard this morning, the vision for programmatic CRM, omnichannel orchestration, heavily driven by AI that Brian and Adam talked about.
I'll start with next year when you come and Adam does his nod to the financial services people. It would take 6 months for you to campaign out the door.
That was a dig.
He's not going to be looking at Chase, I promise you that.
Okay.
So that's a real thing. And then everything that I heard, like a little bit of orientation to Mike McCormick. Like, some of you are going to think what I say is interesting. Some of you are going to think that what I say is idiotic. And some of you are going to think that it's pretty basic. But steal what you want, even if I say something really dumb. Like, if you turn it on its head, there'll probably be utility in it. And then I talk like a third grader. This way there's like no interpretation needed. And so when I hear them talk about what the world's going to look like, I actually believe it, because like at the bank, we are far beyond imagine a world where, or talk about the art of the possible. We stop talking about stuff and we're actually doing stuff. So everything that I heard this morning from Adam, from Brian, I know to be true, because I used to come to conferences like this and it would be like, the right message, the right customer, the right time. And now I'm like, yeah, but we actually do this stuff. So we have a lot of stuff coming on board. The one deviation I would have from Adam is Adam still uses the word campaigns. And again, this is Mike's point of view. It doesn't mean I'm right. It's just the way I think about stuff. Is like, we have a goal at the bank of getting rid of the word campaigns. And in my mind, campaigns are like, I have money, I have an idea, I'm going to start here, I'm going to finish there. And just get beyond that to where you have this army of agents who are constantly doing all this work. And there are treatments and experiences and journeys, and call it whatever you want. But the idea of a campaign would go away. And then on Brian, I thought the way Brian started was really, really good. Like at the end, in the video this morning, like it ended on like Mike says, like, marketers will be marketers. The lead-in before that was marketers will stop being project managers, and then marketers can be marketers. And I think that when you marry the capabilities that are being built with the skills of being a marketer, then that is the true unlock in what comes in the quality of the marketing, how you engage your customers, the speed and effectiveness of your marketing.
I definitely think it's really relatable for a lot of marketers in the room to feel like a lot of their job has been project management. Yeah. I know I've lived that. So your scope today at Chase is really expansive. You're overseeing campaign execution, operations, quality, and AI enablement across pretty much every part of the business, from card, connected commerce, consumer, community banking. So it's a huge operational footprint. And a question that I'm getting a lot from the leaders that I speak to, it's less about what tools do I need for personalization, and it's how do I structure my team? How do we structure our organization to drive real personalization, omni-channel orchestration? You've built orgs like this at many different institutions. So I'd love to hear from you, like how are you structuring your org today? What are some of the lessons that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, so there's no, the answer that I'll give is, it's for you to, these are things you need to evaluate and consider, because my point of view changes frequently. So it's a combination of, like when I think about org structure, I'm thinking about, one, I always share my goals with my marketing partners. I don't just have ops goals or transformation goals. I share my goals. But who are my sister organizations? How are they golden? How are they set up? What are the key priorities of the organization in a given day? What new products are you launching? What new channels do you have coming? And how does information flow through the organization, as well as what's the maturity of your tech stack? And so, I've been organized by a business unit, like, oh, we'll do things for US consumer this way and international that way. I've said, no, we need to do things by product. So the lights are bright, so I can't see, but I'm sure there are a boatload of you in the audience who have Sapphire cards, right? And it's like, oh, as a Sapphire customer, you would get these treatments along the way. So I should prioritize by Sapphire. Then I realized, the marketers don't actually talk to each other. I'm the only one who sees everything that's going on in the Sapphire portfolio. Maybe I should optimize by channel, because when we do investment optimization, it's like we want to dial up this channel, dial down that channel. So, the thing that is fungible is the product. Like, am I marketing Freedom? Am I marketing Sapphire? That can change. But someone who knows the refer a friend channel, you need deep expertise in that. So then you become channel focused. I've been organized by what part of the campaign are you in. Like, we'll have people who do intake, we'll have people who do audience, we'll have people who do creative, review and approval. I've done it 50 million ways. But as the org matures, I change my model. And so today, we're in the middle of this shift from a channel view to, how are things going to work when you have an army of agents doing things differently than humans used to do. And so I will end up with humans in the loop, fewer of them, but doing, monitoring that.
What are some of the shifts in how you're thinking about the org with the introduction of agents?
Ask me again. Give me a trigger.
So, are you still looking for specific channel expertise? Or
No. So, you don't need product expertise and you don't need channel expertise anymore. Now you need actually smart people. Smart people who know how to interrogate and know how to redesign a process, right? The people who are thinking about taking AI and putting it on their current bad process, dumb. Don't do that. You need to, if you start building your army of agents and this is going to do, Mike's job and this is going to do Jackie's job. No, that's not how you do it. You need to reinvent the whole process. So
that makes sense. Well, I'd love to get a little tactical when we talk about agents, because I'm sure that when you said you're introducing an army of agents, everybody here is like, all right, give me a look under the hood. How are you actually applying agents? What are you thinking they're going to do in the marketing ops process? Because there's a difference in how we're thinking theoretically about how agents will work in the future versus what's actually being implemented in the enterprise today. So talk to me about that. What's an example?
I'll give you
of an
some
agent?
of the basics. I'm not going to give all the way there.
Can't give everything away today, but a few.
So there's a woman in the audience. Her name is Rita Bagai, Bagai. If you ever get a chance to work with her, you should work with her. I am the mouthpiece for a lot of good work that I don't do. So Rita's the brains behind all of this. And Rita's sitting there going, he better not divulge all the secrets. But here's a basic one. Here's a super, super basic one. I think Brian mentioned something like this today. So first, the way we think about, I have the activation side of the house, which is basic run the business, and then I have transformation, which is make the business better for tomorrow. And so the way, goal-wise, we talk about 4 C's and an A. So you've got capacity, you've got cycle time, you've got quality and controls, you've got cost to serve, and employee experience. So everything you do is designed to improve the capacity, do more good marketing, reduce our cycle time, get things out faster, make sure that nothing ever breaks, flawless execution, reduce the cost to serve. That could be fewer people, it could be fewer handoffs, it could be less in agency fees. And then last, make it all about the marketer and elevate the marketer experience. And as long as most of the things you're doing are addressing 4 C's and E, we're heading in the right direction. And so if you think about getting a campaign out the door, it's like you have your idea, you launch your campaign, and then maybe you get I don't know what your org looks like. Maybe it's finance, maybe it's risk, maybe it's data and analytics. Someone goes, hopefully they're resourced well enough, and then they make you the priority, and they go and they pull your results, and then you have a few meetings because oh, could you cut it this way? You forgot to go do that. I've got a new insight. 3 months later goes by, and then finally you have you're like, oh, I think we've landed. And then you're back to, 12, 6 months, however long it takes you to get a campaign out the door, and the world's a completely different place. So one of the things that we say is begin with the end in mind and work backwards. So if you have the performance results of your campaign sitting over here, and you shift that left, and you bring it up, so now you're gonna have the performance agent. So go tell me all the campaigns that are in market today. What are they doing? How are they performing? Okay, what ideas should be better? Okay, that's Agent 1. Agent 2, well, what are our organizational priorities and what are our customer needs? And how do I marry that with what's working well today and come up with and serve up to a marketer, here's what you should do next. And now I start to interact and I understand what's important to the P&L, what's an organizational priority, what products are we pushing, what are the customer needs. There are other things that we're doing that are cool that I'm not going to divulge because I don't want Amex to steal it. I say this because I spent 18 years there.
2 decades.
But that's like an idea, and so it's just like little ideas like that. But that's not like relying on people and time and prioritization and useless meetings. Now it's going to be there are agents that are doing all this work and serving it up to me. So when I walk in the morning on my dashboard, it's all right there, and I get to interact and ideate.
That's a great use. Well, even that use case you just described, as well as all the work you're doing with personalization, it really falls down without a good data infrastructure. And you guys have done a tremendous job, I think, in terms of data access, really, democratizing your data, which is where a lot of organizations get stuck. So tell me a little bit more. How have you set up your data infrastructure for personalization, as well as now this agentic future?
So, this is fortune cookie. You've heard other people say this. The difference is we actually do it. So, transformation isn't something you do off the side of your desk. So, like you heard me say, I have an activation side of the house and I have the transformation side of the house. And so, similar on data, we have data as products. So, I've got data and analytics partners, but it's not like, oh, can you go build me a data product? When you have time, can you put that on your roadmap? Can that be a priority? Can Bill do this when he has time? It's like, no, your goals for this year, you're gonna build these discrete data products. And then what we do is we get the organization working together because while I sit in card, right, the unit of the bank that I'm in, the consumer and community bank, has 6 lines of businesses that all of you would know. Get a credit card, have a checking account, get an auto loan, have a mortgage, maybe you have a business, so business banking, and don't use E-Trade, trade with us. So you can imagine there's 6 lines of businesses. We all share customers. So then it's like, well, each business unit has their own DNA, data and analytics team, and they want to do things their own way and build their own products, but that's not customer-centric. And so the ecosystem that we're building is designed for the entire consumer and community bank. So data is a product. You figure out what are the attributes, where do they live, how are they democratized, how are they governed, how are they managed, how do you certify stuff, who has access to it, and you do all these rules of the roads up front, and then people are accountable every single month. They have to report back on here's the progress I've made, and it works.
Well, so that really makes me think about, and you and I have talked about this, transformations usually get stalled because of people, right? It's really hard to change organizations that have been rewarded for doing things a certain way and have, often very individualistic KPIs to do things differently. How have you been able to change people's mindsets and modes of working, whether it be for being more customer-centric or the move towards AI?
So a few things on this. One is like we try, I'm not saying we always get it right, but we always try to make the marketer feel like the most important person in the room. If I talk about things the way I do my work in capabilities and streamlining process and standardization and templates, the marketers feel you're stunting my creativity, you're killing innovation, you're the dream killer, right? And no one understands me. But so we say, in their shoes, through their eyes. So everything we deliver, we put ourselves in the marketer's shoes and we make it about them. Like people will, if I turn around and I say, I'm gonna automate this process and re-engineer stuff, people hear, oh, I'm gonna lose my job, I should hold on for dear life. If I turn around and go, here's this cool thing over here, doesn't this look like fun? Everyone's like, oh, that would be awesome. And I say, oh, you know what gets in the way of you doing that? This dumb stuff you do over here. Suddenly they're like, oh, like I'll get rid of this in a second. So there's a lot of painting a picture of the future, not like staying grounded in the current, not letting people create their own narrative. We're doing a big shift on shifting from activities-led to outcomes-led. So in the past, it would be, I'm a marketer, I have money, I have an idea, let me go do a boatload of stuff. Now it's like we have a stage gate, and so at the stage gate is this woman, Danielle Wallace, CMO of our organization, of the card organization, legit leader. If you ever get a chance to work on our team, you should absolutely apply to be on her team. But at the table is Mike and Danielle, and we make decisions about the marketing that goes on. I am not an order taker. I am like a strategic partner at the table, and we're figuring out, is this on strategy? Is it right for the customer? What is the message? What's the opportunity cost of touching the customer with this offer versus another one? What's the operational? How many calories are we gonna burn? If we do this, do we think it's gonna break? How are we gonna monitor it? Like all of this stuff. And so you just choke off a lot of bad demand that would historically have made its way into the system. So that's it. And then also, I mentioned earlier the shared goal stuff. It's always nice when it's not like I have my set of goals and marketing has their set of goals.
I feel like we could have a whole sidetrack on how you reduce bad demand, because I think that's so common. But with just a couple minutes left, I want to talk a little bit about the future. So if everything comes together right, whether it be your data infrastructure, your culture shift, use of agents, what does marketing ops look like in 3 years, in 5 years? Like, is there a version of this function that doesn't exist today? And what does it look like?
So I talked about like just don't do AI on the way you do stuff today. The way I think about it, 2 steps, I think. I think it's gonna be 2 steps. So one, you heard me say, I share the card shares customers with the other parts of the bank. So there's no reason why the thing we build for card can't be used for everyone. So now you get scalability and efficiency across all the lines of businesses. Then you've got everyone using the same ecosystem, which then truly does put the customer at the center of everything you do. The problem that you run into is personalities, empires, egos, arrogance, org charts. And so, like the way I describe it, I'm not saying it's right, but the way I describe it is like prisoner's dilemma, right? So like if Jackie and I commit a crime and we both get pulled into interrogation, if they're like, listen, you want to speak up now, like and pin it on her, she's going to
throw me under the
But if
bus.
the both of us keep our mouth shut, we're like walking out and like we got the money. So prisoner's dilemma is no different, right? If each business unit is like cramming their widget in front of the customer, trying to sell their thing because that's their goal and that's how they're going to get their promotions and get their bonuses, then the customers are going to go, what the hell's going on? I'm getting desensitized. Your opt-out rates go up and we all lose. But if we're all kind of cool and we all optimize around a few core metrics, or a few KPIs we can all agree on, and we optimize that way, then we will all win. And then the second part is, I would love to see the thing that we're building just be just like a customer ecosystem. So like I know sitting at the bank, when you get something, is it marketing or servicing? But you don't know that. Like, what's the difference to you? It comes with a little blue octagon on it. There's a message, it comes to you. Like it's the who, what, when, where, why, how of anything. So whether it's marketing, whether it's servicing, whether it's risk related, you can have everything running through this ecosystem and you would have a 360-degree view of all of the interaction that we have with customers. And so if we can take the thing that we build for card, scale it for CCB, then take that for marketing, add on servicing, risk, other kinds of engagements. Like that's when you were like adding enterprise value. So no one's gonna look at you as this back office order taker. That is when you become a strategic consultant and advisor to the organization.
Love that. I think also, key takeaway from this is if we can all be cool, the customer wins out. That's a big one.
Yeah, stop selling your widgets.
Amazing. Mike, thank you so much for joining me. It's been great talking to you.
Thank
And
you.
find Mike after today's discussion. Thank you, Mike.